Hey everybody, this is the second time that I'm making this video because the first one I did just wasn't good enough. So this is my better attempt at this. So what I want to do is just try something new, because normally when I talk about something, I'm talking about something that I physically have. But I want to talk about the new lens roadmap, and I don't have any of those lenses that are new on the roadmap, unfortunately. So I just want to talk about kind of my thoughts and feelings about the upcoming lenses and what things I'm excited about. See if it works, see if this type of format works, if people are interested in me talking about this type of stuff. Because if not, then that's okay. But if you are, then it could be something we could keep going forward as we talk about different subjects and things like that. So hopefully, if you do find this useful, or if you do enjoy this type of format of video, then please do let me know in the comments. What I want to do is just have a nice kind of quick chat about the new Nikon Z lens roadmap. Just an informal chat about kind of my thoughts about the lenses, any particular lenses that I'm really excited about, what we've got coming up, what different types of lenses are available to different types of photographers, but mainly just the ones that kind of I want to talk about because they're the ones that I want to use. So I hope you'll find this chat useful. Okay, so let's start with the new lens roadmap. It is obviously a different design than we're used to. So there is no dates this time. All we have is that they're going to be available by the end of 2021. So what we'll do is we'll start right at the top. We have the 58mm f/0.95, and we know all about that lens already, been announced along with the lens roadmap and also the Z50. We then have the 50mm 1.2, which we already know about, and then the 20mm 1.8, which is on the way as well, and then the new 1.8 primes, so the 24, 35, 50, and the 85 1.8. So they're all on there, we know all about those. So past that first kind of section at the top, that's then where it gets really exciting really quickly. So we have this new section which is called compact primes, and what we have in there is a 28mm lens and a 40mm lens. So to me, this is absolutely screaming out pancake lenses, and the ability to then have a really nice small prime lens on the front of a Z6 and Z7 that's a full frame lens. I am incredibly excited about the prospect of a 28mm lens. I love the 28mm focal length. I absolutely love using the f-mount 28mm f1.4. It's just something I shoot quite often. I generally tend to use 28mm over 35mm. It's just the way that I shoot. And then particularly interested in the 40. It'd be good to see if that's kind of a newer version of what the old f-mount 40mm pancake lens used to be. We obviously don't have any apertures here. If I was to speculate based on absolutely nothing whatsoever, I would think that we would hope for at least maybe an f2.8, something like that would be nice. But obviously we don't know, and these are all subject to change. So the next row down, we obviously have our macro lenses. So I know that there were a lot of you that were really interested in waiting for macro lenses, and we finally have them on the roadmap. So we have a 60mm macro and then a 105mm macro. Great thing about the 105 is that it's an S line. So the Nikon f-mount 105mm 2.8 macro is a phenomenal f-mount lens, and it performs incredibly well. So I'm expecting this 105 macro to be very similar, if not considerably better, than the existing f-mount 105 macro lens. If you can get better, it's already a really, really good lens. So past that, we then go to zoom lenses. So when it gets to zoom lenses, we have the 14 to 24 2.8. Really, really nice lens. I'm really excited about this. Those of you that know my type of photography, generally I will shoot really ultra wide for landscapes, and currently I've been using the 14 to 30, which I absolutely love. So I am excited to see how this 14 to 24 2.8 performs. We then have the 24 to 70 2.8, which is what I'm currently using to record this video on right now. Then we have the 70 to 200 2.8, and I must admit that that is probably the most talked about or anticipated lens I've ever seen. I've never seen so many posts or so many people kind of comment about a 70 to 200 2.8. So I personally am very excited for that lens, but it is on the way. We then have the 14 to 30, the 24 to 70 f4, and then a new lens, which is the 24 to 105, and this is also an S-line lens. So we are aware that this is going to be a higher quality lens than a non-S-line lens. And I would expect this 24 to 105 to kind of sit between the two 24 to 70s in terms of performance. So I'd expect it to be a really nice sharp lens, but just gives you that extra flexibility in terms of focal length. And then this is where I get into my other lenses that I'm really, really excited about, because I shoot landscape, but I also shoot wildlife. And therefore, for my wildlife, I need really long lenses. Currently, the lenses that I'm using are a 500mm f5.6 PF, and I'm using that on a Z7 via the FTZ. And I also use the 600mm f4, which I also use via the FTZ on my Z7. So now in this roadmap we have an S-line 100 to 400. I am pretty excited about the prospect of a 100 to 400, especially because S-line kind of points me in the direction it's going to be a higher quality lens as well. So after the 100 to 400, we then see the two new DX lenses. So we have the 16 to 50, and then we also have the 50 to 250. After that, we then have another DX lens, which is an 18 to 140. And then we have a 24 to 200mm, so a full frame 200mm. And this again allows you to just have that all-in-one range. So if there are some of you out there that do want kind of a good all-in-one lens for your Z6 or for your Z7, so for travel and things like that, you don't want to take multiple lenses, but you just want one lens that does everything, the 24 to 200 is on the list for that. And then we have the 200 to 600. So probably out of the whole list, I'm probably most excited about the 200 to 600. The main reason for that is I almost kind of hope that this is the Z series version of what the 200 to 500 was for the F mount. The 200 to 500 was a fantastic lens. It wasn't a Pro Series lens. It doesn't have a gold ring around the front, but the picture quality of it for the lens that it was absolutely fantastic. It was often had better picture quality than lenses that were more than twice the price. The flexibility of the zoom and also then its constant aperture, the 200 to 500 was a fantastic lens. So I am so excited with the prospect that this 200 to 600 could be the Z series version of what that 200 to 500 was, obviously with just the extra 100mm on the end. So I'm so hoping that it is a Z version of that. Constant apertures, really good picture quality. I am not concerned that it's not an S-line. As I mentioned, the 200 to 500 was still a great lens and it wasn't classed as a pro lens. So I am very excited about this 200 to 600. So as with all the roadmaps, obviously this is all subject to change. So we're only talking about kind of the current roadmap as it stands right now, and just sharing some of my thoughts. I thought it might just be useful just to kind of share some things that I'm excited about and, you know, have a conversation with some of you guys in the comments about what you want from lenses and things like that. Right. Well, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for kind of keeping up with all of the video launches recently, especially with a lot of stuff going on. But as always, any questions, please do put them in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.